Seth freaking Rollins advances to the final of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament last night on Monday Night Raw. We also have an update on the bracket for the SmackDown side of the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Brock Lesnar viciously attacks Cody Rhodes and sets up a match for Night of Champions against the American Nightmare. Becky Lynch makes her return last night on Monday Night Raw. The Way reunites, and there are big plans in the future for the former NXT faction. The Maximum Male Models, they've been absent from recent WWE TV, but reportedly, backstage they're still very much appreciated. The tournament bracket has been announced for the NXT Womens Championship. Gunther is set to make his Raw debut next week. An update on the writer lawsuit against WWE and Vince McMahon. We have the ratings for last Friday's episode of SmackDown. And is Bad Bunny the best celebrity wrestler of all time? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Certainly, that was the big story heading into last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. And following his victory over Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw, Seth freaking Rollins advanced to the final of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. At Night of Champions, the premium live event, Rollins will face off against a SmackDown star who emerges from that side of the tournament bracket. We'll get into what those sides of the tournament are in just a second. But the winner of the two matches on SmackDown will face off and determine Rollins' opponent at Night of Champions to crown the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. Rollins and Balor's semi-final match was perhaps the second most important match, with their first coming in 2016 at SummerSlam, which was to crown the inaugural Universal Champion. Balor ultimately came out on top during that bout, but suffered a shoulder injury and had to vacate the title. The spot that injured Balor was called back on Raw in their match last night. Before getting in the ring with Finn Balor, Rollins had to win a triple threat match against Shinsuke Nakamura and Damian Priest, neither of whom have ever held a world championship in WWE. But Rollins, indeed, he will be going to Night of Champions, and many consider him the favourite to win the world championship after last night's events on Raw. Do you think that Rollins will be the one to be the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Now, when it comes to the SmackDown side of the tournament, I said I would let you know who would be on that side, and certainly we are going to do just that. While earlier in the day, WWE revealed that the Raw tournament would begin with two big triple threat matches, it seems the SmackDown side will have the same format, with the participants of each of those triple threat matches being revealed on the bracket shown on the screen during Monday Night Raw. One match will feature Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus, while the other is set to see a huge clash of two WWE Hall of Famers. The second triple threat match is set to feature Edge versus AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio to determine who will face the winner of the other SmackDown match. As I mentioned, the winner of those two triple threat matches will face each other in the SmackDown main event. They'll then face Seth Rollins at Night of Champions to determine the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So, with that in mind, is Seth Rollins going to be the first world champion? Is it going to be the winner on the SmackDown side of things? Who do you think is going to win those triple threat matches? And then the semi-final match to face Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Let me know your thoughts, your predictions, as always, in the comment section below. I'm sure you'll have your theories and opinions as always. Brock Lesnar appeared on Monday Night Raw last night, and he's pretty pissed off. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar 2 is now official for the Night of Champions premium live event. The match was set up on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, where Lesnar cost Rhodes a victory in his World Heavyweight Championship tournament triple threat match against The Miz and Finn Balor. Just as Rhodes prepared to pin The Miz after nailing a crossroads, Lesnar appeared out of nowhere and dragged Rhodes to the outside of the ring before hitting him with a nasty F5. Thereafter, Lesnar hit Rhodes with another F5, this time through the announce table at ringside. After his vicious beatdown of Rhodes, Lesnar grabbed the microphone and had a question for the American Nightmare. "What do you want to talk about?" Lesnar asked a helpless Rhodes, making a reference to Rhodes' catchphrase. "Look at this face. What do you want to talk about, Cody? I want to talk about me." Lesnar, who was sporting stitches on his face, which he suffered from the match at Backlash, then told Rhodes that he got lucky in their first meeting in Puerto Rico. The segment ended with Lesnar repeatedly yelling he wanted to talk about a fight before challenging Rhodes to a rematch, a fight. "What do you got to say, Rhodes? Who's the coward now?" Lesnar concluded before leaving the ringside area. Now, later on in the evening, Rhodes accepted Lesnar's challenge in a backstage segment. "Against all my better judgment, here's what I have to say. Let's fight. At Night of Champions, I accept," Rhodes said from the trainer's room. So we are going to be getting that rematch. It appears Rhodes vs Lesnar 2 will be a no-holds-barred contest, not a conventional pro wrestling match. WWE's Twitter account is also promoting the match as a, quote, fight. So Seemingly, it's going to be either a quarter fight, a street fight, a no-holds-barred match, something like that. Either way, Rhodes, Lesnar 2, it is happening at Night of Champions. And I guess importantly, Cody Rhodes will not be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Certainly the first one. That's going to be either Seth Rollins or that SmackDown superstar. Becky Lynch, she made her return last night on Monday Night Raw, continuing her feud with Trish Stratus. After Trish Stratus spent some time earlier on in the show distributing missing posters featuring Becky Lynch, she came to the ring to address the crowd, noting that Becky still wasn't there and that she probably was somewhere with her dumb daughter. No, really, guys, she's 2 and doesn't even know what her colours, says Trish. Lynch would remain missing because no one was going to take away her spotlight. After teasing Lynch coming out after her music hit, Trish cackled at the Jacksonville crowd, again reminding them that Becky Lynch was not there when they began to chant her name. However, when the music hit again, this time Trish was confused at first before being met with a big punch by Becky Lynch. With Lynch making her big return to Raw, surely the pair of stars will be continuing their feud, which WKRD Wrestling reported a while ago was heading to a match between the two at SummerSlam, especially when we're out here calling toddlers dumb for not knowing their colours. So Becky Lynch is back on Raw. Her feud is continuing with Trish Stratus. Can they stretch this out until SummerSlam? How do they stretch this out until SummerSlam? Do they have Trish go after the Raw Women's Championship? How do they have Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus remain far apart for quite a long period of time? Remember, SummerSlam takes place in August, so how do they stretch it out for this long period of time? Let me know your thoughts about that also in the comment section below. Last night on Raw, we saw The Way, the former NXT faction, reunite, and according to a report from WRKD Wrestling, Triple H has big plans for the reunited The Way faction, well, -1, not completely reunited. Of course, Austin Theory was a member of the faction on the developmental brand previously. Writing on Twitter, quote, "As promised last week, The Way have officially reunited on tonight's edition of Raw. Triple H and company have big plans for all those involved." In a backstage segment on last night's Raw, the quadruple of Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, and Dexter Lumis were on hand for Indy Hartwell's Monday Night Raw debut, with Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville seen going around backstage to acquire signatures for Injustice. Their vague claim caught the eye of Candice LeRae. As they examined the petition, Hartwell asked Dexter Lumis what he thought of the signing and got a big thumbs down. Surely set for more backstage segment hijinks. There are exciting storyline possibilities all around, including in the women's tag team division too. So The Way are back. What their plans are going to be, we don't know. Is it going to involve the women's tag team division with Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville facing off against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell? Certainly that's a possibility, but The Way are whole once again, and they are back on WWE television. One team that isn't on WWE TV that much at the moment is the Maximum Male Models. While Maxine Dupree continues to feature on TV, Mansoor and Massey, they haven't been on TV that much. Now, while Maxine Dupree, as I mentioned, continues to feature on Raw as she is accompanying Otis and Chad Gable to the ring, fans have been wondering about the whereabouts of the males of the Maximum Male Models. Well, according to one report, despite the fact they haven't been seen in matches on television in a while, they continue to thrill fans at live events. According to WRKD Wrestling on Twitter, Massey and Mansoor are still widely popular during WWE live shows, writing on Twitter, quote, "While they haven't wrestled on TV in months, the Maximum Male Models have gotten positive reviews and responses backstage during house show events, with those behind the scenes hoping that the team's character work picks up steam with the live crowds. Hashtag WWE Raw. Maximum Male Models continue to be social media sensations too, known for their hilarious posts across all platforms. So despite not being on TV that much recently, they are still appreciated backstage, and there is hope that maybe their character work can make them more over in time and they can get back on WWE TV. We spoke a little bit there about NXT when it comes to The Way. Obviously, Indy Hartwell now being on the main roster means we have a vacant NXT Women's Championship, and we're going to have a tournament to determine the new champion. The bracket for the upcoming tournament to crown a new NXT Women's Champion was seemingly revealed by a local radio station to the Lowell, Massachusetts area where the event will be held. However, suggesting it is very real, the official WWE account retweeted the graphic, including the infamous eyeball emoji. The first round will see Gigi Dolan versus Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez versus JC Jane. On the other side of the bracket, Lyra Valkyria versus Kiana James and Fallon Henley versus Cora Jade. The upcoming NXT Premium Live event, NXT Battleground, is set to feature numerous big matches, including the big main event for the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes versus Bron Breakker as well. So certainly That looks like it's going to be the tournament that determines the new champion. Looking at that bracket, who do you think is going to be the winner? Who do you think is going to be the next NXT Women's Champion? Who do you think is going to win the whole tournament? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Gunther is going to make his debut on Raw next week, despite the fact he's actually appeared on Raw multiple times, but... ignore that. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of the modern era, is set to make his Monday Night Raw debut next week. On this week's show, Gunther's Imperium stablemates Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser had an encounter with the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the backstage area, which led to Kaiser delivering the news of Gunther's imminent debut. However, Owens mocked Imperium and refused to take the tag team seriously. Quote, are these like Gunther's henchmen, like the Usos are to Roman, Owen are saying, as Vinci and Kaiser looked on? What's with everyone having henchmen around here? Can anybody do anything themselves? The segment set up an impromptu match between the two teams, which Imperium lost. Despite their Raw debut loss, Imperium seems primed to make a big impact on the red brand going forward. The segment also possibly set up a future rivalry between Imperium and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Gunther, currently at 331 days and counting, and his title reign is less than 100 days away from surpassing the Macho Man Randy Savage's 414-day reign, which was set in 1986. The Honky Tonk Man's 454-day reign still tops the list of longest reigning Intercontinental Champions in history. For what it's worth, Gunther would surpass that record by holding on to the title until the end of 2023, which frankly I think many people expect him to do. Beside Gunther's debut, the confirmed lineup for next week's Raw includes Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz and a title defense for the Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who will face the winners of Damage Control versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville match set for this Friday's episode of SmackDown. So again, we're going to get a tag team match with SmackDown teams next week, I guess, too. Yeah. There's an update on the writer lawsuit when it comes to Vince McMahon and WWE. Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and other people within WWE Creative are currently the target of a discrimination and retaliation lawsuit from former WWE writer Brittany Abrahams. But according to court records, the defendants have yet to be served any kind of paperwork on the matter. PW Insider is reporting that based on court records, as of May 2nd, no defendants so far have been served summons in the lawsuit. In layman's terms, neither the McMahons nor anyone else named in the lawsuit are under any obligation to appear in court until the service of said summons. According to the records, the lawsuit must be amended with the name and addresses of all defendants included, or else the defendants will be unable to be properly served, which requires the summons delivered to the defendant in person or to any person within the defendant's residence that is over the age of 13. The current defendants listed are WWE, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Chris Dunn, Ryan Callahan, Jen Pepperman, and Mike Heller. Pepperman and Callahan are both still on WWE's creative team, with Callahan the current VP of WWE SmackDown. The report also states that many in the company are confused by the lawsuit, having never heard of Abrahams, as she worked with WWE under the pen name of Onyx Esprit. News of the lawsuit broke at the end of last month, with Abrahams alleging that WWE fired her over qualms with offensive pitches made in the writers' room, including one pitch by Callahan, which would have suggested Saudi wrestler Mansoor was behind the terrorist attacks that occurred on September the 11th, 2001. So, of course, if we get any updates on what's going on with that lawsuit, we'll let you know. But as of right now, no one's been served by anything, and I don't know what that means for the lawsuit. Here's the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown. Of course, Friday's episode of SmackDown took place in Puerto Rico, and per Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, SmackDown drew 2.059 million viewers, which is down significantly from the April 28 WWE Draft 2023 edition that drew 2.473 million viewers. This is the lowest total viewership for the program in 2023 so far. In the 18 to 49 demographic, Friday's show scored a 0.52 rating. This is also down from the week prior that scored a 0.67 rating. This is also the lowest demo rating for the show this year. WWE ranked number 5 overall in the demo for the night. The show featured the final go-home build ahead of WWE Backlash and took place in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Also, the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega defeated the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Post-match, the Judgment Day jumped Mysterio before Bad Bunny and the LWO made the save. So, numbers a bit down for SmackDown, as you would probably expect after the draft, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the fallout of Backlash this coming Friday. Finally, speaking of Bad Bunny, is he the best celebrity wrestler of all time? Well, according to Mark Henry, he is. At Backlash, Bad Bunny defeated Damian Priest in a critically acclaimed San Juan street fight. The highly entertaining bout featured cameos from WWE legends Carlito and Savio Vega. On Monday's episode of Busted Open Radio, WWE Hall of Famer and AEW personality Mark Henry revealed just how great he thinks Bunny is when it comes to celebrity wrestlers. He said, quote, "Bad Bunny is the greatest, the absolute, no peers whatsoever, greatest celebrity wrestler of all time. There is nobody close. Lawrence Taylor is right there. Pat McAfee did a hell of a job, but Bad Bunny is on another level." Gushing over Bunny's ability to sell and express emotion, Henry said, quote, "He was playing like a veteran wrestler, the way he sold, the way he recovered. He was smart enough to roll out of the ring. He registered. The dude emotionally got that crowd in a frenzy. You said it could have been the main event. You mean to tell me that a celebrity could main event over Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes? Yeah. And how can you argue that he's not the greatest? That was some incredible wrestling. I said that match with him and Priest was going to be good because it had to. I had no idea that Bunny had this in him. I'm going to step off the box, but nobody is close. Better than Andy Kaufman." As previously reported, WWE were reportedly very pleased with Bad Bunny's performance at Backlash. Do you agree with Mark Henry? Is he the greatest celebrity wrestler of all time? Or were there better ones? Whether it was Lawrence Taylor, whether it's Logan Paul. Who is the best celebrity wrestler of all time? I'll leave you with that question. But there you go, guys. That's the WWE news for you today. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. Remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.